In order to have an effective half guard, I have to be able to control distance. I can do that in a couple of different ways. I can either have frames where I stop him from smashing into me, or I can have an underhook where I can do things like sneak out the back and lift. Underhooks are good for lifting, and we're going to use that in this sequence. Also, I really need to be on my side unless I'm playing a radically different style of half guard than normal. Because when I'm on my side, I can move and stop him from flattening me out. If he flattens me out, he can smash me. If he can smash me, he can pass my guard, and then we're in a lot of trouble. So if I get to my half guard position, my inside leg goes out, my toes point down, and I'm hooking Ilias's inside Ilias's right leg. My knee is in front, and I like personally my elbow inside my knee because I'm a smaller guy and this knee is bad, and so if a guy tries to sprawl on it, then I can defend my knee. But you notice how I'm just making frames. The reason that I like this, and some people call this a shell half guard, is that if my partner tries to smash me, really difficult, right? No problem. If he tries to punch me, really easy for me to control and check his arms, things of that nature, right? So I'm not reaching, because if I go and reach for him, you see how, like, whenever we extend our elbows away from our body, it's going to be trouble. Because now, Ilias get an underhook on me.
Right side?
Whichever side you want.
Can't.
It's really hard, right? If I reach, now, Ilias may be able to come forward and flatten me out. So don't reach, right? So, just some fundamental principles for control. The thing is, if Ilias is really looking to smash you, you can take advantage of these frames to get an underhook and then start a sequence where you can take his back or do some other good things. If you have an underhook, good things are going to happen. So how do we get it? You notice how if Ilias tries to smash into me with the frames, it doesn't really help, right? But what it does do is when his energy comes into me, I essentially have an emergency brake with my hands and my knee. And when I let that emergency brake go, he's going to come forward, but only I know when I'm going to let it go. So what I'm going to do to set up my underhook on this side, I'm going to swim for an underhook on this left side, is kick my leg straight and swim. And then I'm going to reach for the ceiling. So he pushes into me just a little, right? And I use that to come up onto my elbow. Now you notice how, so now if Ilias tries to flatten me out the way he did before, it actually makes it much easier for me just to come onto the back. Underhooks are good for lifting, and underhooks are good for coming out to the back. We'll talk about what to do if he does not smash into you, of course, too, but that's a different situation. So, got the blocks in on him. If he tries to push into me a little bit, I'm just gonna let the emergency brake go. See how my knee is against his ribs and hip? Boom. Small detail on the underhook that makes a big difference. You see how my knuckles are pointed at the back of his head, and you saw how when he pushes into me, that enables me to come out the back? What I don't want you to do is grab him. It seems counterintuitive, but you don't want to grab him here. The reason for that is, you saw what happened when Ilias tried to smash me before, but if I grab him, Ilias smash me? Whoa, crap. I have the underhook, but now I'm flat on my back, and you can tell that he has that COVID-15 because, wow, that was heavy. I'm kidding. But like, we only want to, I love hugs, but we only want to hug our partner when we're in a better position than he is. And remember, Ilias is still on top, so he's still in a better position than me. So I don't want to attach myself there. What I want to do is I want to make like a ramp with my knuckles coming back like I'm trying to cuff him in the back of the head. If that motion is difficult for you, just reach for the ceiling like you're trying to tell the teacher you have to go to the bathroom. Now if Ilias tries to smash me, really easy for me to just turn my chest and come out and start attacking his back. You'll see this in a lot of MMA fights, in jiu-jitsu matches, because getting an underhook enables you to lift your opponent or threaten their back. Now, realistically, you know, this does happen quite a bit, particularly against overly aggressive grapplers and inexperienced grapplers. But what I want to tell you too is just getting the underhook, even if it doesn't look like that with you getting out to the back, which we will drill, but even if it doesn't look like that, often what will happen if I get the underhook, so let's start from this and smashes into me, I get the underhook, and I start to come out to the back. And now don't put in a whizzer, Ilias, but do what you think you should do when I try to come out to the back. See how he's going to his own back? That's exactly right. Now, does he want to do that? Of course not. He'd rather be on top. But if his choice is have me on his back or be on the back in his guard, he makes exactly the right decision. And so either you're going to get the back once you hit the underhook, or your partner's going to let you sweep him, or a lot of times they're just going to disengage and stand up, in which case we disengage and stand up. Either way, this is what we want. So that's how to get the underhook from the closed guard, or from the half guard, and some of the options from there. In a more advanced class, our partner will put in what's called a whizzer, which is an overhook that stops us from going out to his back, and there are options to sweep from there as well. Point being, get your frames. If you can't get your frames, get your underhook, and magic will happen.